Welcome to a brand new Amash program. You're in for an interesting ride. This is the Ammach Files, hosted by peoplesinternetradio.com.
To also arrange a light lunch for all you guys, so if you want to come along to that, please do. Please let me know. Please book your seats or your place via the Amash website, which you probably know now is www.amash.co.uk or www.alienabductionuk.com. Now, this is a forensic dowsing workshop, and I know you've heard me mention this before, but this is unique. You know, this is a new set of tools, a new methodology that allows us into the ET world through the magnetic field real time, and it allows us to gather analysis and data, and we can get down to very fine details. So this workshop is going to teach you some very basic tools, but you will be able to go out in your own field, in your own location, and you'll be able to feed back. And what we're hoping to do is to start gathering data from this system soon. Now, we've got 3 fabulous guys who are doing that at the moment. One's a retired physicist, and you know, he said that if he had had this tool and known of it when he was a working physicist, that would have saved him a huge amount of time. So I really don't want you guys to miss this, because no one else really knows about this methodology. It's birthing in the UK, it's birthing right here and now. And although these guys have been working for the last 20 years in dowsing and ancient archaeology, it's only in the last 4, really, since the time Amash has been going, interestingly enough, that they began to see anomalous results in their readings, and these turned out to be ET related. And now that's just not in ancient archaeology either, let me tell you. This is current. And what is so amazing about what they are finding is that they are seeing confederations, they are seeing bodies of fleets, they are seeing real-time wars going on throughout the cosmos, and they're logging all of this, and they are noting the impact that it's having around and how our solar system is involved. I mean, this is real. This is not conspiracies. This is not, you know, fantasy or imagination. This is real. So this is an opportunity for you guys to find it out for yourselves, and so it can become real for you. And you know, it's really exciting, and you know, we are so fortunate to have this methodology turn up at this time in humanity's development, because I think it's a very simple tool, and it's actually easy to learn, but it is just the doing of it and accepting that this can be a fact. It's often the way when things are simple, we can't quite accept it.
All right, so today I wanted to tell you a little bit about Mike Smith. He has been seeing for the last 3 weeks, on and off, triangles all around the Wales area. Now, he's sort of between Shrewsbury and the sort of Newtown area, for anybody who's around that area or wants to Google Earth it. And he's been seeing several at a time, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, sometimes just 1. And the interesting thing is that he was saying, you know, surely I can't be the only one seeing these things. And he's been seeing them, he said they're at some great distance, but they are definitely triangular shaped by all the lights that they are showing. So, and they seem to be going in different directions, though generally heading in the South Wales direction. So it seems like there's quite a lot going on in the UK at the moment, especially over that area. So anyway, so Mike was wondering who the heck in the locale might have seen anything when an old gentleman, a neighbour of his, called him over. Now, and he's a farmer, so he's not into this subject, not at all familiar with what a UFO is, or anything related. So this guy came over for a little chat, and it was about last Thursday. So last Thursday, I think, was the 10th of September, when this gentleman said, "You've been in the army, haven't you?" And Mike said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, look, did you see those things last Thursday? Or whatever it was. And he said, they're firing rockets, aren't they? That's what the army's doing. They're firing up rockets. And you know, when I've been out in the fields, because this guy is a fantastic farmer, shearer, that's what he's done all his life. So he's been out in the land at all hours. And he has seen absolutely loads and loads of these rockets being fired all times of the night, a lot of the time. And he can only suppose or surmise that they are rockets from the military. Now, when Mike said, well, no, they're probably actually a UFO, he didn't know what a UFO was. And when Mike tried to describe what one might be, that didn't work either. So it's just really interesting that someone who has no idea about this actually saw the very same thing as well. So I know there's a lot of sightings going on all over the place, but that was really interesting because Mike happened to be going to make himself a cup of coffee as we were on the phone the other day, finishing off any tweakings that we were doing on his book. And he said, you'll never believe it. He said, there's another one. So it seems that there is a tremendous amount of activity. Now, I know this month is supposed to be a portent of really special stuff with the eclipses going on. So I don't know whether that's heralding a lot of cosmic forces and energies, because it seems that there are a lot of very conspicuous and auspicious energies coming down to the planet, especially in light of or the crapiola that's going on. So I'm kind of very interested in this contraindication of what's happening here in 3D and what's filtering in from the cosmos. So we shall see. So in the meantime, I have a wonderful guest for you, and I'm really delighted because he's returning, which is really exciting. And this is KEHLER. Now, for those of you who didn't hear that show back in June, you may not know then that Chris is a quantum energy healer. He has also done a lot of work with various different kinds of therapeutic tools and modalities, but he's also filters in concepts of the archetypes of healing, archetypes of mythologies that we do get embedded with over the eons. And this was a very interesting thing for me. And when Chris and I did a little bit of work before the previous show, I really had an incredible response to his work energetically, which was very positive. And I was really excited by that because there's not often a time when you work with healers and the impact is so present, so immediate, and benign. When I say benign, it didn't sort of knock me off my socks or anything. It was just as if my energy field was being augmented with a real positive energy. So what we're going to do tonight, which is really wonderful, and we did this before, is we're going to do some live on-air healings. Now, I'm also going to be a recipient of that, and I hope Vin will too. We are going to bring on Donadella soon, and Donadella is going to be an interesting case because she has some chronic conditions, which I won't go into. She can describe them to Chris if she likes a bit later on. And but we are also going to have another, if anybody else wants to Skype in, we may have time for perhaps another one. Unfortunately, we didn't get our little trailer out in time for this evening, although I did get some people to come on live with us. So we may have time for another one if this rings any bells for people and that they'd like to join us. But first, we are actually going to talk about something that's buzzing around the net, and this is AI, artificial intelligence, nanites, sort of minute nanoscopic technologies that have the capabilities of changing and redirecting the organisms in which they are hosted. And we can talk about chemtrails, we can talk about a lot of things, and you think, well, how does this have any impact on the ET side of things? Well, perhaps this is ET technology. So I'm going to bring in Chris KEHLER, and actually, Chris, let's have a little chat about AI before we play your first song, and then we'll kick off with the healings after that, because I've been listening to quite a few things about AI just in the recent days, and there's a plethora of information out there. What's your take on it, Chris?
First of all, Joanne, thank you again for having me on. It's a wonderful show you have. I've done many different shows, and I really love your format. It's very interactive, and I love working this way. AI. Now, first of all, let me start off by saying that a lot of the things that are out there that we hear about, artificial intelligence, exocortex, all these different concepts, all these different epiphanies that people come forward with, the benefit of my work is that I'm able to take these findings, these theories, put them within the charts that I use, and it shows that there's validity with them when I work with somebody and they get a change in their energy. So you know that there is something to it. It's not just something that somebody drew up on a conspiracy map and wants people to follow it. So now when it comes to artificial intelligence, within my charts, I do have listings for cybernetic organisms, for cyborgs, for nanites, all these different terms that can be used for these things, and sure enough, it does come up for certain people.
So Chris, sorry to interrupt, but you're talking about your charts. We won't know what your charts are. Is this to do with radionics, or is to do
this is to do with dowsing, and as soon as we're on video, I can show these off. These are the charts I use, and it's basically a semicircle with words in there, and I use these with my pendulum. When I ask a question about the person I'm working with, the pendulum will direct me to different charts and show me what the problem is. So that's the basis of the work I do. So when it comes to artificial intelligence in the form of let's say a cybernetic organism or a nanobot type of thing, what I am finding is that they are from chemtrails. Okay, they can also be from inoculations. They can also be, within the water. They can get in almost any different way. So who's the culprit? Everything is the culprit. Let's not point fingers at government because they're just stupid. They don't know what's going on. It's the deeper levels of the government that's doing all this, the military levels of it, trying to get our thoughts to be a certain way, trying to dumb us down, trying to do all these different things. And in some people, they does trigger certain things to happen to contribute to a health problem, to contribute to a psychosis or some type of issue. So what I'm finding is that when these nanobots are brought into your body, they can react to some type of program on the computer. If you're watching any certain types of websites or different programs on the computer, a certain frequency can trigger them to cause them to do things. There's a lot of talk that there's somebody on a big computer and they're typing in these different instructions. I don't know about that. I mean, anything's possible. Within the work I do, I know that anything's possible, but I think ultimately there is a very big connection with the artificial intelligence and the internet. Now, you have to look and realize, where did the internet come from? Where did the technology come from? This is all artificial intelligence itself. So there's got to be some kind of interaction. Of course, your show has got nothing to do with artificial intelligence. This is full human intelligence working right here.
I hope so. So, Chris, I've been listening as well to how these nanobots and nanoparticulates are able to be impacted. Not only are they able to be impacted by scalar waves and radio waves and all the rest of that's being controlled by whomsoever, but also that they are self-replicating and self-organizing as they get into the body. I mean, this is a crazy, wild thing. And honestly, the way humanity is playing out at the moment, the psychopathy that's around, it seems that there's a great sickness on the planet, a great malaise that people are not able to kind of move beyond to any meaningful degree. I know we've got pockets and we're part of that pocket, but I don't know if we've got enough power yet to fully move through, and we need to. So I'd be interested to know how you think your work, if some of these elements have gone, a certain degree into burrowing their way into someone's psyche, soul, whatever, is there any point which your work cannot help them?
The only time that my work cannot help somebody is when you don't come to see me. Okay? Because ultimately, there's an answer to everything. And because I always ask the bigger, deeper questions as far as what is causing a problem, what is causing this, that, the other thing. Because I ask the questions, you get the answers. If you don't ask a question, you're not going to get the answer. So if you know how to manipulate the question for source and the universe to give you the answer, you're going to get the answer. Now, there is another concept where we're only allowed to know certain amounts of the truth at certain times. As we're getting closer to the whole age of Aquarius ascension time of what was happening around us, we're allowed to know more, okay? Because there are laws in place that only allow us to know certain amounts of things. And that's what I have found, is that you can ask all the questions in the world, but if humanity is not ready for that information yet, you're not going to get it. But what I am seeing on an escalating scale is that every day more and more truth, more and more answers to these problems are coming forward, especially to me, because I'm asking the question. So now, as far as the self-replicating thing and that type of stuff, why not? Because this is not our technology. This is alien technology. These beings have got knowledge and technology that they can do pretty much anything. They can become multidimensional. They can materialize. There's a lot of things that these beings can do that we don't understand, and we may never understand.
Have you seen an influx then in your clientele of people needing support that you would directly relate to this newer development, or at least we're becoming a bit more conscious of the AI kind of stuff? Whether AI is exactly the right terminology, I don't know, but we'll just use that for the moment.
Yeah, what I've been seeing as of late is a very big influx of people going through extreme sorts of health problems, whether it be extreme pain for no reason at all, whether it being having seizures, whether it being having heart attacks, and all types of different psychosis, different things going on within us at an elevated level. Because of the rising energies, we're getting closer to this age of Aquarius, where our consciousness is going to shift into a higher dimension. What it really is we have our light bodies, that our quantum body that is in this fifth dimension. Our incarnate bodies, this stuff here, is still in the third dimension. What's going to happen is they're going to merge, where now your incarnate body and your conscience becomes into this higher rate of vibration of consciousness. These ET do not want that. Once that happens, there goes their energy source, there goes their food source, there goes their research, there goes all of their fun. All of that stuff is gone out the window. So of course they don't want it to happen. And of course, when it comes right down to it, on this planet, the Illuminati, the elite, don't want it to happen either, because then they lose control. And with the rich and powerful, it's all about control.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, because this, the AI, as I was sort of thinking about this, it really sort of spans just about every field that I've been contacted about. That's not just the alien abduction phenomenon. There's that, of course, as well. But it's also things like targeted individuals and how these, it's like I was talking once before about this sort of glass ceiling. Whereas, when your energy reaches a certain level and your activism reaches a certain level, somehow it's like a flag goes up, a yellow card goes out, and it's as if you are on the radar. And when I've spoken to people who have been targeted individuals, for example, and this is common, wherever they are in the world, there are just all of these folks around them who are giving them grief, and they seem to be acting in unison, in accordance with some kind of directive to intimidate, stop, and generally, get the other people to desist, whatever their activism is about. So, and with this AI business, I think it was Bradley Loves, that's who it was, and he was talking about, not using the same terminology as I am, but this kind of energetic point that you reach, whereas, the yellow card goes out, and there you go, and you become, it's parasited, infected, for want of a better term, and it seems to be across the globe. It's astonishing how pervasive this is. So, we really need as many tools as we can get. And Bradley Loves, again, he's a person who does a lot of positive affirmations and meditations, and he came up, which I'll speak at the end, his affirmation, which he says does help dissolve these things, and it's about coming from pure love, pure intention, self-awareness of being sovereign, of being coming from a source of love as well within ourselves, and that's the key. And it's interesting because in all these kind of areas that I'm dealing with, it comes back to the sovereignty issue and to the love issue, because you can't do this to people and love them. You can't. So it's really interesting. So Chris, before we bring Donadella on, I'd love people to hear one of your songs. Now, tell us a little bit about your band. Standard Monday, is that the right name?
Well, that's the name we're going with right now. For something to do. Ever since I was 14 years old, I wanted to play the drums. And finally, it's about 4 years ago, my wife said, Chris, go get yourself a set of drums. I said, we're going to do it. And then I met a bunch of guys about half my age, and they're writing their own music, so it fit right in.
Excellent.
I got to write in with the band, and it's kind of an edgy, kind of rockish kind of thing, but there's some good vibe to it. So.
Okay, how lovely. Well, if Stephen is there, we're going to play song number 1, which, let me just see if I can get even the Circle the Drain. Is that really the name of it? Circle the Drain?
Yeah.
All right. So, Stephen, I don't know whether you're ready for that. That would be great. Well, Chris, my goodness, that's going to keep me awake. I can imagine you all just having the best time beating the
You know what? The band thing really keeps me grounded, because a lot of people who do this work, who get very into it, get so far into it that they become it. So this it really grounds me. It keeps me to my old rock and roll days when I was a DJ and everything. So I love doing it. It's a lot of fun.
No, it's great. You know what? It's just great to do something. I used to walk all the time with my little dog, but I just lost him recently, so I've got to do something else to get that grounding back. But anyway, I've got a question from the chat.
Yes.
And it says, please ask Chris if the jinn are manipulating negative effects unto mankind, and are there benevolent ETs that negate their influence by an intervention for mankind?
The answer to that is a big yes.
Yeah, I would say so too.
I do have jinn within my charts, and different cultures call them different things. In the Bible, they're known as demons, but the jinn are just a negative energy that carry out the orders of the higher ups. Let's say, so they're little buggers. In the grand scheme of things, but no, they do come up quite often when I'm working with somebody to remove the jinn. I cast them out into ether. So they are a very big problem, just like mosquitoes and flies.
Yeah, so that's a good way. Okay, well, one last little question before we bring on Donadella, just so I don't forget that. And it says, this is from Sean. He says, what do you guys think of Pope Francis' announcement of hellfire? I'm not sure in what context that is made about hellfire, but anyway.
Well, first of all, I haven't heard the announcement of hellfire.
No, I haven't either.
And when it comes to religion, well, you know what, my views on religion, we're just going to say I don't have any, because I'm a spiritualist, and I believe in spirit. I believe in source. Religion is man-made. Christianity, Muslim, whatever you call it, it's all man-made, and there is dark connotations to it in all different ways and forms. There are people that I remove black magic of Christianity out of in order to get to the hell problem. So it is all there. I mean, I'm not saying drop your Bible, stop going to church. If it works for you, great. If that's how you've been brought up all your life, fantastic. I was brought up a strict Mennonite. And I got out of there because I just didn't resonate with it, because I needed to do this work. So as far as hellfire, I really can't comment on it because I haven't heard it, number one.
Okay, all right. So Donadella, Shreve, thank you very much for your patience. And maybe you could, I'd just like to introduce you to Chris and Donadella. Perhaps you could just, really just a couple of sentences, Donadella. I know that's not going to do the whole thing that you're going through, but the main qualities and elements, because we've got to get through a few people tonight. So if you are able to do that, that would be great. And then give Chris a bit of a heads up.
Hi, Donadella. Okay, what kind of issues do you want to address?
Mostly my health and being stalked, I think, and it's impossible that the number of things that happen to me can congruently just keep happening, one thing after another, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's also, it might be to do with, in the United States, they've got files on me, I'm sure anyway, from years ago. I was an environmental activist, if you want to call it something like that. You know, I always knew, like, people in the underground kind of that were in the know and things, and I'm sure, you know, I was filmed with certain people that the FBI keep tracks on, and I'm sure that they, you know who I am, but I'm not a big figure in anything, so I can't imagine why they would, except that ever since I was a child, I've always had strange people track me. And I'm not sure if all of those were even human because of the powers. They were, some of them were Satanists or some type like that, but they had like superhuman powers. So I don't know, you know, for sure.
And if I can just say, Donna, just jump in there, that you also have lupus.
Since a child, you know, that type of experience. Yeah. And all types of things. And also I could levitate as a child. I was very different. I knew I was different. Like, I just knew I was different since I was very young, and I didn't fit in. I was super intelligent, and I was very friendly, but I sort of kept to myself a lot too, because there was nobody I knew who would even understand what I was thinking or talking about, you know. So that's pretty much most of my life. And the abduction stuff, I pretty much compartmentalized because it was too frightening to even face that if it was really happening. And I didn't know anybody, and I didn't want to go there. So for years, I just sort of ignored that. Other than that, I always was interested in healing. I'm really good at dowsing, apparently, but I never really worked at it. But once I went to visit a farm, and the guy there did professional dowsing, and I saw his dowsing rod, and I said, "Oh, is that your dowsing rod?" And he said, "Yeah, here," and he handed it to me, and he said, "I want you to try it. I'll bet you're good at it." And he took me out, and he had a natural rod, you know, that he had found himself, a wood one. And he told me to go out in the field and find a pipe in the field, in the ground, like just walk over, and it literally bent like it was alive. It scared me. I mean, it actually scared me. He told me how to handle it and everything. And it felt like it had a life of its own. It wasn't me moving it, but it was so powerful the way it moved that I was like terrified by it almost. But I was really interested in that. But other than that, I never knew people. I always thought it'd be neat to do healing, but I wasn't going to go to some goofy New Age place that I, you know, don't particularly get along with a lot of those groups of people that back years ago were more into Madame Blavatsky than, you know, real positive things, you know. But, you know, I just pretty much kept to myself, although I always would meet other people that occasionally would even say they were sent to talk to me, and it'd be really interesting, you know, like why they would show up, I don't know, you know, and then they tell me things. And I was close a lot of times with Native Americans, so I'd meet one and they'd tell me a lot of things, and then I dated one and I married one ceremonially and lived with one for a while, and he knew about like FEMA camps 20 years ago. And he knew about HARP, and he also knew about fracking back then, and told me all about that. And we actually hiked out in New Jersey to see they were building a FEMA camp at that point. But, you know, I was into those things a long time ago. But then I was really quiet and hadn't been doing anything. And then all of a sudden, I got Lyme disease really bad, and I got tremendously ill from it and never have recovered. But other than that, all of a sudden, I started having black helicopters, which had plagued me in the past. And all of a sudden, after 10 years of silence, and I'm not doing anything, and I haven't even been meeting people or, being involved in anything, talking about stuff like this, and these black helicopters start coming to my house again, and I'm like, oh no, why are they doing this, And then a gray came into my room one night, and another night, another one came in, and I said, why are they coming back now in my life? Like, there's nothing, I can't imagine what this is. And then I noticed I'm not squeamish. I was a nurse years ago. I could watch anything in surgery, you name it, and I'm not squeamish. I was watching and I don't watch TV, but I don't know, it was on the internet or whatever, but they were just going to give an injection to an animal, and I couldn't look. And then I had to go to the dentist, and when the dentist, and I don't mind dentistry, you can sit there and do all kind of stuff. I went to the dentist, and when he shined a light on me and, put his mask on, and then when he went to, I absolutely panicked and freaked out. I almost ran out of the dentist office. And I had to calm myself down, but I'm like, something's wrong. And then I started having these experiences connected with the helicopters that I felt that they were paralyzing me, and it was just like the abduction experience when I was younger, where the Greys do that, but these were these men, but they would, like, you're aware, but you cannot move. Once you sense they're there, they already have you paralyzed. So you can't do anything except your consciousness is still there. And you can't scream, you can't move, and then you don't remember, too. They'll only let you remember so much. But
so, Donadella, let me just come in here, sweet. Let me just see how Chris is working.
I worried because they were sticking needles all the time into my head, into my arm. They're injecting things into me all the time. And then I started getting a lot sicker. And I was getting better, or I was better than I ever was, because I had finally gotten IV and treatment, and I was on the right diet, and, taking herbs, and, I had some permanent damage.
Donadella, I'm going to have to come in here because I just need Chris now to interact. Okay, sweetheart.
This is all classic story. Yeah, this is
but
all
they all
classic.
go together, I found out later.
I know that. Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Let's just see what Chris...
And these are all things that I do hear on a daily basis. As I said, I work with 9 people a day, 5 days a week, and I do hear a lot about this type of thing. And people send me pictures of the needle marks and bruises that they get overnight. So the first thing that I found already is that this is something to do with my labs, okay, military industrial complex.
Right, exactly.
Now the important thing is to find out where they are, how they're getting in, and that is through your time matrix, because they can go interdimensional. They can find all these different ways in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down your time matrix. I'm going to move it to another area where they can't get in. That's how we're going to start, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take this lovely device. This is my Vesica Pisces pyramid. Hold it up to the camera, say the words, and it'll happen just like that. Here we go. Within Donadella, time matrix. My labs, false.
Can I see you or no?
Hold on one second. Within Donadella, time matrix, my labs, false. Okay, so that is now taken out of your time matrix. Now, where do we need to put Donadella's time matrix to stop that infiltration? We're going to move it right to source, straight to source love and light. Connect Donadella's time matrix straight to source, please. Connect Donadella's time matrix to source love and light. And just by saying those words, working through this, that is now done. Now you may have felt some tingling, you may have felt some energy shifting in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're going to ask, where is the lowest level of vitality within Donadella's body? Now, do you have a level of pain within your body right now?
Yeah, and it's the sacrolumbar junction on my spine. it's in the spinal cord, or right in that zone.
Okay.
And it's also would be more not your root chakra as much as your chi. If you look at the Oriental medicine and where they locate chi, which is a little bit higher in the abdomen, pelvic area, it's like my whole chi energy, it's like right there, it's like something's got a hold of it.
Okay, where is the lowest level of vitality within Donadella's nervous system? So it's very important when you work in this way.
Also, it shuts me down now. They can knock me out like I'm a robot, and they pull the plug.
Okay, we're going to look at your spinal cord. What is causing low levels of vitality within Donadella's spinal cord? Give me 1 second to find this.
Or else they're zapping me one way or the other.
Well, one way or another, we're going to kick their butts. How does that sound?
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're wearing a girdle around your whole pelvic area that starts from there, but it's like, I call it the chain of pain, it's like...
What's causing low levels of vitality within Donadella's spinal cord? Okay, now this is very common, and it's called uric acid crystals. I do have a live blood analysis microscope within my office, and very often people come in with arthritis and gout and muscle pain, and we find these little crystals floating around in their blood. So we're going to remove the crystals. We're just going to make the intent for them to go, and you tell me if your pain level goes down at all. Here we go. Donadella's spinal cord, uric acid crystals, false. Uric acid crystals, false. Okay, those are now leaving. Those are now leaving. Let me know if that pain level goes down a little bit.
Are you getting any immediate response, Donadella? I mean, you may or may not.
I turned on my back, which would lower it anyway, but let me see if I sit up now.
Where is the most resistance within Donadella?
Yeah, definitely. It's stopped.
Yeah, so these tiny little knives are just cutting right into your spinal cord. Mm-hmm. And it's classic. I mean, this is not hocus pocus. This isn't, nothing funky. It's straight out organic problem. This is real body problem.
Yeah,
okay,
well,
so,
I've had, what do you call it, the test for the actual DNA panels. I've done those, and I've tested positive on, U.S. Army patented stuff like lovely, what do you call it? See, I can't find words. That's what it does, but mycoplasma.
Mycoplasma, yes. I work with that very often. Mycoplasma does not have a cell wall, so it's easily assimilated into different areas of your body. Now, we're going to ask, what is causing resistance within Donadella's entire body? So this is going to tell us something of a different nature. So we went after something that was causing you pain. The pain started to go down. Now let's see what this is. And this is something of a dark nature. What is causing resistance within Donadella's entire body?
And I know, first of all, my former neighborhood, they moved in one by one until there was almost half the block was a whole occult group. Okay.
Yeah, so what this is, what I'm finding is the Illuminati. Mm-hmm. Now, what that boils down to is Illuminati do satanic rituals on your energy. Okay, so if you're an activist, somebody's watching the internet and they see you and they go, okay, we got to stop her.
My neighbor doors down hated my guts for 20 years, and I didn't want to live near her, but I had no way to get out of her neighborhood or move from her. And I'm sure she sat there and gave me every evil intention or curse she could possibly
what we're going to do is disconnect the Illuminati from you. Then we're going to disconnect Moloch, which is the demon of rituals. Okay, that's who they sacrifice to. Then we're going to put put a stop to all of the satanic rituals going on within your body. And this is classic what I see within most of my clients. So here we go. Here we go. Donadella's entire body, total body, Illuminati, false, send to ether. Illuminati, false, send to ether. So they're putting up a little bit of a fight, but I'm gonna win. I always win. There they go. Okay, now, within Donadella's soul and entire being, Moloch, false, send to ether. Moloch, false, send to ether. Okay, Moloch is now leaving. And now within Donadella's entire being, satanic occult rituals, false, send to ether. What kind of energy do you, Donadella, what kind of energy do you feel going on in your body?
Kind of just lightness, like I feel less heavy. I can't describe it really.
Okay, that's a perfect scenario. Whenever we take these heavy energies off of people, you start to feel lighter. So that's a good sign that these things are leaving. Okay, so this is classic. It's the Illuminati, satanic rituals, the demon of sacrifice, and at the end of the day, it's causing a physical problem in your body to cause pain, to bring your vibration down. So one day you might say, I've had it with this, goodbye cruel world. That's what they want. Then they get your soul, and then they're all happy, and they can trade it on the open market.
That's the one thing I say to them all the time, no matter what you do, you ain't getting that.
Very nice, good for you. Let's do one more. Let's check one more. Okay, what problem do we now need to work on within Donadella? So we're getting some changes right away, which is really nice.
I'm feeling the work as you're doing it, by the way. I'm just feeding that in, and also I am kind of helping to augment the healing energy as well. So I'm just tuning in for that, and I can really feel it, which is lovely.
But I mean, they really, I'll wake up and I mean, I'm not talking about once in a while I get like hand bruises, like they're restraining my legs and arms, fingers. Yeah. But
that's exactly what's going on.
I've had where it looks like somebody took a 2x4 and beat my leg. I mean, you wouldn't believe, or the foot one where I fell out of the sky and I was walking out my front door and the next minute I'm falling out of the sky. And I came down foot first with my toe pointed straight down, and the black, and I mean, I'm lucky I didn't break my foot.
We need to do this right now because we don't want anything to take over here. Okay, within Donadella's soul, Lucifer, false. Within the soul, Lucifer, false, send to ether. Because he'll invite these guys back in. Lucifer, false. There he goes. Bye-bye, Lucy. Within Donadella's entire body, Lucifer, false, sent to ether. Entire being, total self, total body, Lucifer, false. Here he goes. Now, Lucifer and I have got an agreement. He leaves when I tell him to, and I'll go easy on him. I can put him in places that he ain't going to like. Ether is kind of a neutral place. I can send him places where he doesn't like it. So we have a bit of an agreement. I call him Lucy. How are you feeling now?
Disrespectful.
So, listen, Donadella, what I'd really like is for you to maybe toward the end of the show, maybe we could bring you back in just for a comment about, how you feel after, say, an hour. Because that's pretty much the time that we'll have left then, if we get a chance. And if not, then I will get back to you because we're...
will I be able to hear the show, or do I have to go...
Yeah, you should. You should be able to hear it if you're...
This call, or should I log in on your show, or what?
Yeah, probably. Yes, you probably need to drop the call and log in on the show, and then I can call you back if we get time just at the end for a comment. But Just interesting that I could also really feel the work. I don't always, and I would definitely say if it wasn't something that I felt really positive about, but that was really interesting.
And also, interestingly, a helicopter, but I didn't get a chance to see it, did a quick flyover right before you brought me on.
You know what you do, Donadella? You send them a blessing. Say, I send you love.
Well, sometimes I'm not sure if at night they look like glow, just orbs, but then they sound and you can't see in the dark. So
yeah,
they're like orange or white orbs, and sometimes one chases the others. So I don't understand. Like the orange will be over my house and two white ones will chase it away.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Okay, so Donadella, I'm going to let Chris carry on with another person before we come up to the second song. Thank you very much, and we're going to come back to you. I'll definitely come back myself if we don't get you on the show.
Thank you, Chris.
Tonight.
Thank you, Donadella.
And thank you, Chris, for that. I know it's very hard for people to understand or to appreciate sometimes how powerful this work is. Chris, I just wanted to share what Sean had written just to update me about Pope Francis.
I'm reading it too, yeah.
Of hellfire. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to read this out just so it's there for everybody to hear, because I don't look at papers and stuff very much. So, okay, so Vatican City, and it says this was posted on the 8th of September. So during a sermon at St. Peter's Square on Sunday, Pope Francis spoke of a forthcoming event in which Earth will be consumed by hellfire from above, and asked Christians across the globe to absolve themselves of sin in the days and weeks ahead. For goodness sake, who is he to ask anything? In a statement released by the Vatican Tuesday morning, Pope Francis, who is scheduled to arrive in the United States on the 22nd of September, announced that he has been visited on 3 occasions by heavenly beings who most recently have warned of an impending crisis that could have dire consequences for life on Earth. The Pope is set to attend a meeting of the UN General Assembly on September 25th at the United Nations building in New York, where he will confer with world leaders, including President Barack Obama and Russian President Vladimir Putin, to discuss defensive options. What is that man doing? On Tuesday morning, NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg confirmed that he had made arrangements to attend the General Assembly. I spoke with the Holy See and UN Secretary Ban Ki-moon via video conference Sunday evening. Stoltenberg told the Associated Press, NATO is working closely with our counterparts around the globe to explore every viable recourse.
It's going to be the Illuminati sideshow to get us into the new world.
I know. So I'm just going to continue. Details surrounding the Vatican's extraterrestrial visitors are sparse. But a British military intelligence official, speaking on condition of anonymity because he was not authorized to discuss the situation, told The Guardian that the entities were described as peaceful by nature. However, the officials said their stance on the matter was passive in that they maintain a policy of neutrality in regards to interplanetary action by other worldly forces. Pope Francis is scheduled to attend a private meeting with President Obama, blah, blah, blah. I think we know that one. Okay, so, so personally, it says we all think it's rubbish, but what do we know? Well, the fact is that, we hear about this meeting that was set up in 1954, the Treaty of Agriada, and I can't remember if he was a bishop or Cardinal McIntyre was sent as a representative, apparently by the Pope back in 54, to learn of what the extraterrestrial deal was, which it seems that they might have reneged on. What a surprise, and the fact that we even went for something like that. And really they'd have reneged because we wouldn't give up nuclear energy when that was a deal from another party of ETs. Seems that our military are intent on keeping that one going. Anyway, just before we go to a break, Chris, I have a gentleman who is suffering with piles who wishes to be anonymous. And I just wonder if via me holding the name of the person, you could possibly do a very brief piece of work with him? Would you be able to do that? Would that be at all?
There is a 99% chance it'll work.
Okay, well, here we go. I'm going to hold the name of the person in mind and their
Can you type me the name of the person?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, just
actually.
do that. That would the better
uh,
connection we have, the better it's going to work.
Sure it is. I
know there's a lot of healers out there saying, "Oh, how come you can't do it with?" I like to have good connections.
Hang on, Chris. Let me just do that. I just trying to make sure I'm doing it just for you. I'm not sure.
And I will make sure I don't say the person's name either.
Okay. There we go. Did you see that? Can you see that? Has that come up there?
Oh, wait, hold on. Yes, I got it. Okay. And he is in, what city is he in? Is he in the UK?
Yes, in the UK.
All right.
And then we'll go for a little break
you,
for you.
You said piles, like hemorrhoids, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? It's a thing. It's a thing. People send me pictures of their colonoscopies all the time and pictures of the of their diseased genitals. I mean, it's something that you got to work with. It's embarrassing, but you know what? It's a problem. We got to fix it. Okay.
What I agree. It's just another.
What is causing low levels of vitality within this person's anus, please? Anus and rectum. What is causing low levels of vitality?
We'll read 10 of it doesn't eat brown rice.
Let's see what comes up. I mean, we have to identify it properly. Give me 1 second with this. It's not the world's fastest system, but it's deadly accurate. Not deadly, but very accurate. Okay. Okay, we got an answer there. What is causing low levels of vitality within this person's rectum and anus area? Okay, so these are little blood clots. So we're going to do two things. Number one, we're going to remove the blood clots, and then we're going to intend to remove the piles/hemorrhoids. We're going to hit it two ways. All right, within the name of the person that Joanne is holding, rectum, anus, blood clots, false. Blood clots, false. There we go. And piles and hemorrhoids, false. Piles and hemorrhoids, false. Now, by saying the word false, that means it doesn't exist anymore. There we go. Piles and hemorrhoids, false. Beautiful. He's probably going to get really itchy, okay? But that's a sign that things are healing. Okay?
Okay. Well, that's lovely, and I will liaise with the person in due course, and if there's any feedback from that person, you know who you are. Send me a little Skype message, and you may get itchy. Itching is also when, the healing begins to occur in tissue, so if you get that, please let us know. It's always good to have feedback when we're doing this work. So, Chris, I'm going to give us a little break, and we're going to go to your second song, and it is Portage and Main. Yeah.
I love this song.
Okay, so when Stephen is ready. nearly there. Are we done? Well, that's really good. That really gets us all going on that one, doesn't it? It kind of keeps me awake.
Portage and Main is a famous corner in Winnipeg.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. It's good to know that. And, you know, I think I might have told you before, but one of my favourite people and researchers, Grant Cameron, is from Manitoba, Winnipeg. Oh, yeah, Manitoba, not too far from you. So I've just got a question, and it's just asking you, are you claiming that you're healing directly, or is this a conduit for benevolent seventh dimensional entities?
You know, there's always a lot of talk about that. You know, when I tell people I'm going to heal you, they go, "Oh no, you're going to work through somebody else." Like, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. It works. Okay, am I doing it myself? I don't think so, because quite often when I'm dowsing for somebody and I'm looking for the answer, they've already started to do the work. People can say, "I can already feel it working."
Yeah.
So you know, I know that there is beings working with me. Exactly what they are, to me, it doesn't matter, because it's working. I know they're love and light. I know I'm working plugged in directly to source. I have psychics come into my office and we chat, and they go, "You know, Prime Creator's here," right? And I said, "Oh yeah, he's been here all day." You know, and to me, it's like, okay, this is good. This is all a good thing. It's all working. I don't question too many things, because ultimately, I don't need to know. If I need to know something, I'll ask and I'll get the answer. But if I don't need to know it, we just leave it alone and go ahead and do the work.
Yeah, well, I understand about that, and I think as long as the intention is from the heart and you work with the best methodology you're drawn to, then that's great. Just another little note, say that Chris's website and details are out there on the podcast page. This is Pod 48, and it's www.chriskaylor. Is it net? I think it's .net, isn't it?
Correct.
Chris?
Correct.
Yeah, because there's quite a lot of Chris Kaylors out there, and Chris Kaylor is spelled KEHLER, just for reference. But that information is out there on Pod 48, and also the 22nd of June pod. I just forget what number that one is, but if you want to hear Chris on that date as well, you can, which was obviously from this year. So we're going to bring on David Monroe now, all the way from Scotland, and we're going to have a chat about somebody else afterwards who's talking about a tumour. So the person who's talking about a tumour, if you just get ready, and we will see what we can do for you afterwards. But in the meantime, David Monroe. Welcome to Ammach Files.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my old friend. I thought I recognized you.
Hello, Chris. How are you? I'd like to say thanks very much to the two of you, and also to Stephen for his efforts in facilitating this wonderful experience. And also to Donadella. I hope that you get the relief from Chris's methodology that I got from my 2 sessions with him previously, which I propose to just briefly talk about for a second. But it's good to see you all and all the smiling faces here, so I await with bated breath.
Okay, so David, maybe you would like to just give us a little bit of a heads up about any particular issue, just to give us a pointer.
Well, first of all, I'm very grateful for the health that I have and for the health that's been restored to me. I had, as Chris knows, quite serious panic attacks for some considerable time, and you're aware of yourself, Joanne. You've helped greatly with that too. And I have to say that since my sessions with Chris, those panic attacks have not returned. Okay, they have not returned. Now, this is a biggie for me. There was also an issue with a stomach hernia, which I used to do an awful lot of weights and sit-ups and all of that malarkey. And the stomach hernia, Chris, is still with me, but it's of no consequence whatsoever. It's almost like it's benign. There's no pain, there's no discomfort, there's nothing. Okay, the fat and gristle that's come out has stayed out, but hey, there's no problem with it. So it's as if it's there, but it's not there. So the issues that we dealt with before have very accurately and successfully been dealt with.
Very nice to hear.
Now is an underlying anxiety. I think we spoke about this before. I've had quite serious anxiety from a very early age, But there is still this underlying anxiety, Chris, which is, and the last thing I'd like to say is there is a slight attachment to that underlying anxiety, and that is a fear of a return of all the stuff from before. I know it's irrational, but I just can't quite close that one.
Once bitten, twice shy, right?
Yeah, correct. 100%. Yeah.
Okay, so anxiety. What problem do we need to work on with David, please? Let's go straight to my letter chart. We're going to talk directly to source here, okay? What problem? And the problem is from, okay, the problem is from Lucifer. And we're going to remove Lucifer from David's. I'm going to remove Lucifer from David's soul. Okay, now I saw your face and said, I know that guy. I want to look up your chart.
You thought it was Brad Pitt, right?
Yes, indeed. I thought it was Sean Connery. That's what I thought it was.
Surely.
Okay, so we have not. Okay, we looked at Lucifer in your mirror self at one time, at the first time. Okay, so now we're going to go.
Just to feedback, sorry to interrupt, I felt a really powerful surge of energy, as if there was a kick, a massive kick of energy going on, but again, not in a negative way, like a massive, a real sort of barrage of energy. Wow, that was interesting. I don't know if you felt it, David.
There's a lot going on here right now. Okay, so within David, we're going to take Lucifer out of your soul, send him into ether so he can't come back anymore. Then we're going to clear him out of your entire body, entire being, okay? He is a son of a gun, as I said before. I have removed Lucifer from people, and their pain immediately goes away. Problems just immediately go away. So he is very, very much real, okay? Here we go. Within David's soul, Lucifer, false, send to ether. Lucifer, false, send to ether. And there he goes. Bye-bye, Lucy. Now, within David's entire being, David's total body, holographic bodies, light bodies, quantum bodies, incarnate body, Lucifer, false, send to ether. And David's entire being, Lucifer, false, send to ether. You have to send them somewhere, otherwise they're going to come back. There we go. Lucifer
again, I got a really strong energy shift around me. I don't know whether I'm getting sympathetic healings as well, or whether this is just me feeling the work that Chris is doing. I don't know, but it all feels
everybody
very
listening is going to feel it also. Some people may not, but a lot of people are going to feel it, and they may get a release also. So if you're all of a sudden you're sitting at home and you're feeling tingling all over, it's a good thing. All right.
Yeah.
The palms of both of my hands are really tingling away here. Sub-zero nice. Temperatures in both palms.
They call me Dr. Tingles. Okay, let's look one more time within David. I love to have fun with this too. I mean, it can get so serious and so involved. All right, what problem? Source. What problem do we now need to work on within David? The problem is, okay, we're going to give him. I'm going to give you something. Give him highest harmonic gold light into the. Okay, we're going to flood your soul with the highest harmonic gold light. This is light from heaven. Here we go. Within David's soul, highest harmonic gold light, true. Highest harmonic gold light, true. That is now flooding in. Get ready for good times.
I can see on another level with you, David, just for the record, that it was as if a river had opened a pathway in your heart, and if there was a really lovely river, or more than a stream, a river, flooding into it. It's as if, yeah, the obstacles, whatever obstacles were there, were no longer there. That's just a really strong instant image, and that was it. So take it or not, it doesn't matter. That's just the image I got.
All right, let's check one more time for David. Now, for anxiety, what do we need to do to completely eliminate anxiety? Okay, we are going to say soul. Okay, so this is a finishing maneuver, we're going to call it. Now, the words I'm using true and I'm using false. Whenever you say an area of the body, if you say somebody's soul, if you say soul true, what that does is it takes it out of this time matrix, this artificial time matrix, into pure source love and light, and it brings it back to its original state. So let's say your liver is very badly damaged, and there's really not much you can do about it. If you kept on saying the intent, liver true, it would start to go back to its original form. So very strong words. Now the course that I use is called True Quantum Healing, just for those words. So if you want to add something to somebody or to pretty it up, to make it whole again, you use the word true. If you want to remove something, you use the word false. Okay, let's do that. Within David's soul, soul true, soul true. Now we're going to bump it up a little bit. Soul pure and true. Soul pure and true. Okay, that is pumping in. There we go. There you go, Mr. David. I see a big smile on your face.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's there. It's because I really do believe, and I know that it works. And you're always going to get detractors, but you know, I was a serial detractor until somebody explained to me that the best way to before you start shouting your mouth off and being critical, you know, is go and suck it and see.
Yeah.
Go and get some experience and then make your criticisms.
Yeah. You know,
I think. Yeah, I was just going to say.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
You go.
I was just going to say, you know, we still lack everyday tools with which to measure the energy differentials that definitely occur when healing takes place. And you will always get the detractors because they can't see it and touch it and read the screen printout or whatever. And, you know, that's all right. That's just where they are. And, you know, hopefully it will come true for them too at some point. But I do understand that it is tricky. But I must say, from my own experiences, I'm kind of way beyond needing that, though it is nice to see it because I just know from my own experience that it's
Absolutely.
worked. And also my work with others.
Yes,
So,
it's about consciousness.
So David, perhaps you again will feed back as we go on with somebody else as well. And thank you very much for coming on. It's you know,
Thank you.
It's a wonderful opportunity this for us to share this energy because, as Chris was saying, you know, that we are all getting a spillover of the healing energy because we're engaging in altruistic, from my perspective anyway, loving openness to the potential and the possibility and the reality that this really is. And you may be saying, well, what on earth is she doing talking about healing and stuff when it's, you know, it's an ET orientated show. But the fact is that there are regressives who are intent on keeping us down, and there are the positives who are also there supporting us, who don't seem to be, for my taste, at all in the picture strongly enough. But that's why I'm doing this. And also my first passion has always been health and wellness. And so many people like Donadella have sustained enormous injuries and health problems directly because of my labs and ET incursion, negative ET incursion. I obviously don't talk about the positives. But so David, I'd like to thank you very much. And please get back to us and let us know, even if it's just Skype, a note before the end of the show, and we'll speak anyway at another time
I shall
to
do
see
that.
how that percolates through.
I'd just like to say, Donadella, best wishes. I'm sure that Chris's efforts will be successful. I know they will because I felt it. Chris, to you, big thanks. And Joanne, to you also a big thanks. And I'll see you guys later. Chris, I'll be back in touch.
Cheers, mate.
God bless you, folks.
That's lovely. Thanks, David. Thank you very much. So, Chris, I just wanted to ask you on the ET side of things, just to draw that subject back in. Are you seeing an increase in people coming to you to do with that, or has things changed? Have things changed?
There's an increase in everything, and
yeah,
not every day is the same. You work with one person a couple times, then the issue changes because you take care of stuff and new stuff comes up. And
sure.
I am seeing a lot of people calling in panic mode because they are going through such tremendous crisis, because they are of the light, they are light workers, and we are getting targeted. Okay, I am not getting targeted because I am protected. We won't go any further into that, but there are people who have been doing this a long time. A third of my clients are other healers around the world, and they come to me to clean them out and get started again and do
absolutely.
So we are seeing everything: abductions, general illness, all different types of things are coming up every day.
Yeah, it's almost like it's coming to, a kind of a crescendo almost. And in that regard, I actually think that is a positive, because it's as if they've got every tool out to try and make, the light shine less brightly. But it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
No, the light is going to overcome, and the conspiracy bull dinghy that you see on the internet, especially Facebook. Come on, guys. I'm on Facebook a lot because I use it for my business. But there's so many conspiracy things out there to try to confuse us, to bring us down, to bring us into fear. Fear brings your vibration down. Hate brings your vibration down. And that's what they're trying to create. There's a lot of people out there wanting to create it. Don't buy into it. Is the world going to end? If it does, so what? Okay, there's nothing we can do about it. Yes, there is things we can do about it. We can put positive intent out there. But does this need to happen? I think if something bad's going to happen, it needs to happen. If you look at the world, the refugee thing from Syria it makes me cry whenever I see the picture of that little boy on the beach. I got a 4-year-old boy myself, and I just think of that, and it's heartbreaking. Does this need to stop? Yes, it does. Whatever it's going to take for this to stop needs to happen.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a lady, and I don't know whether this lady would like me to name her, who she has a tumor, a brain tumor, and she's actually a very gifted healer herself, and she has already managed to shrink it down by about half, but it is causing intense migraines, absolutely, life-wrecking migraines, and, she needs it to stop. So
does she have a migraine right now? Does it hurt right now?
I can't get into the chat right now, folks, and I can't seem to, sign in. So I'm just going to ask, Stephen, if you can just ask that question. So just bear with me, folks. So Stephen, if you can just ask the lady that, is she happy for me to use her name? And if she is, if she's not, I'll just write it for Chris.
It's not happening at the moment.
Sorry, what's not happening?
The migraines are not at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I always like to know if there's a change in pain or whatever, but that's fine. We can still work on it.
Can you ask her if I'm allowed to say her name, or would she prefer to remain anonymous?
She'll get it in a few seconds here. I'll give her the answer.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry about the chat room side. It was fine. It was fine a few days ago, but I don't know why I can't.
It's all your fault, Joanne.
All right. Yeah. So it's Sharon.
She said yes. Go ahead.
Sharon Russell. She's happy for me to use her name. Thank you, Sharon.
Sharon Russell.
Yeah, it is.
Is she in the UK? Is she in the UK?
Yes, she certainly is.
Okay. Sharon Russell in the UK. What is causing low levels of vitality within her brain? Okay, this is going back. Okay, that one and that one, that one and that one. Let's start with.
And she won't mind me telling you that ET has been in her life a lot.
You know what? Everybody has had ET in their life. It's just the way it is.
I feel a bit left out of it, actually.
We've all had some kind of experience. I had a reptilian this close to my face once when I was sleeping. It was like I said boo and he took off. What is causing low levels of vitality within Sharon's brain?
Okay, so let me, I'm going to focus in on you as well.
Okay, so it is tumor. Now we need to find two answers here. Number one is tumor, so let's get rid of that. Within Sharon Russell's brain, tumor false. Tumor false. Tumor false. Okay, very strong, very strong. Okay, that is lifting. Now, go to this chart. It gave me two answers at once. That doesn't happen too often. Okay. What is causing low levels of vitality within Sharon Russell's brain? Okay, and we're going to remove the gin. Okay.
There's also a foreign object in her pineal gland.
Okay. Within Sharon Russell's entire brain, holographic, quantum, causal, and incarnate brain, gin, false, sin to ether. Gin, false, sin to ether. Okay, they are lifting. So, what is causing low levels of vitality within Sharon's pineal? Sharon's pineal gland. Or some people say the pineal.
Yeah, this has been going on quite a while.
Sharon's pineal. All right, answer there. What is causing low levels of vitality within the pineal? Okay, so what it's showing me here is that she is a targeted individual.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wants us to know that. Okay, very nice. What is within the pineal gland? What is the stressor in the pineal gland? Okay, and that answer is, what is the stressor within the pineal? And that is, yes, an implant mechanism. All right, simple as that. Let's move it out. Sharon Russell's pineal gland. Implant false. Send to ether. Okay. Be that way then. Have fought on the way out. It didn't like that. So those are lifted. So Sharon, if you could type in and let us know if you're feeling any changes. Much appreciated. Okay, let's check.
That felt like it was really stuck, like it was, hanging on for grim death.
It was pronged in there. Okay, so they put the implant in and it's got prongs, so it was had to release the prong for it to come out.
Yeah. Do you find, I don't know whether you think about it or not, but do you think that this also radiates back in time to the very genesis of the soul of Sharon, for example? You know, what I mean to say is any negativity, any disruption to the energy field you know, from any point forward, from the genesis of source to this lifetime?
It certainly can, and if I go back that far, what I do is I do clearings where I start at the massless particle within somebody. This whole universe started from nothing, so it's a particle called a massless particle. So if we go back and say massless particle true, from that point of birth of the soul, everything just smooths right out. It causes a nice smoothness to the whole energy signature, and then it makes things a lot easier to find if we need to go back that far. And you know, to get to there is a lot of work to actually, you know, be there. But you know, I've worked with people. I found that GMO foods, what it does to us is it causes the atom with its protons and electrons. Those protons and electrons start to come out. They break away, and then it changes the molecular makeup of our body. So now, instead of being a bladder, now it's an area that holds urine. It's no longer a working bladder. It can cause different things to happen. So at the very atomic molecular level, which is light, things can be changed, and you need to go back that far.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got a response from Sharon. She just says she feels numb and she's finding it difficult now to use her hands to type or think.
Okay, we need to go a little further. What problem do we need to work on within Sharon? And the problem is within her, all right, within Sharon Russell. Brain, Lucifer, false, sent to ether. Cast out Lucifer into ether. Quantum brain, physical brain. Okay, let's completely flood Sharon's brain with true, pure heart resonance. Pure, true heart resonance into the brain. There he goes. A little bit of good old heart resonance will knock anything up. Okay, Sharon, do you feel a little better, Sharon?
Yeah, she has ringing in the ears now. I'm also getting, Sharon, a really, and also Chris, I'm getting a really strong sensation for Sharon in the throat, in the whole of the front of the throat neck area, as if it is being stopped up. It's really interesting. It's as if, not quite being strangled, but it's as if something is holding on, but it's not mine. This is Sharon's, because I'm linking with Sharon.
Okay. Within Sharon's throat chakra and throat.
You may not be feeling it, Sharon, but
Moloch false.
You got a strong.
Moloch false, sent to ether.
Whoa. Wow. Gosh.
Moloch likes to put his hand around your throat.
Oh, is that it?
He's a choker. He's a choker.
I think that was like a last ditch to. That's cleared. That's cleared. To hook back into her, to you, Sharon. So we're still here. So we're going to just keep us posted, Sharon, and I'm going to see if we can quickly get Vin's picture up, the big guy, because he's really not too well. And let's just see, before we bring Kevin on, we're going to see if we can, I'll just say bring Vin's picture up. I don't know if you've got it there, Stephen, just so
it's up.
Chris can see it, perhaps.
Okay, now before we do that, I just want to tell Sharon that because of the severity of this, I would certainly consider giving me a call, and we need to go further with it, because this could backlash a little bit. I always
She's
want to
also feeling some pressure.
Okay, this could backlash a little bit, so we may need to go further. So I would really advise you to contact me. We should do a full session.
All right, and just tell me what you mean by backlashing.
Well, where there's a lot going on, and if you don't get it all, then they're going to retaliate and try and get you not to do this anymore. There could be some more stuff going on. I've seen that.
Yes, I mean,
It doesn't happen all the time, but the odd time, if there's a lot going on, I've seen people get pushed into corners and locked in closets right in front of me on Skype because whatever's in there doesn't want to come out, and it will cause some problems.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Also, just another question then before we just show that Vin's picture, or if we don't have the picture, we'll go to the thought of him. Sorry, I've just, it keeps clicking out. Just a question for you, Chris. Are you saying that all disease is caused by Luciferian intervention, or is ill health natural selection to cull the herd?
Good, valid question. What I find is that within every type of let's say, chronic disease, there is a negative influence. So let's say you have worm parasites in your body, but only in your heart and your brain. Why only your heart and your brain? Some consciousness is directing those parasites to those areas. So there is the negative being influence. Luciferian, Greys, Reptilians, the Sith, Hostitan, all these different things can have an influence as to where the problem is and how severe it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it natural selection to cull the herd? I mean, the weak generally fall off. If you have a herd of elephants, the weak ones are going to fall off. I'm trying to grasp at analogies here, but is it? I really don't think so. Are we overpopulated? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either myself.
No.
Yeah. Personally, anyway. But so if you're okay, Chris, I don't know how you're feeling. Are you okay? Right, great. So we've got, I don't know whether Chris can see this picture of, no, you can't see it.
No.
All right. I'm not sure how to do that. Okay, so the Vin you'd have spoken to last time.
Yeah, I've got his.
Let me just see if I can quickly put up his photo in the box there, just so you can see it. Sorry, I did get one of him before. There we go. Let me just see. There we go. So it's in the chat there. Can you see that, Chris? Just to give you a focus. In fact, you two guys look a little bit similar.
Super big bad man. Is that him?
That's my live stream. No, the one.
Okay.
Sorry about this, folks. I'm
that's okay. Let's go with
helping
that.
Chris, because if it's like the more information we have, the easier it is to.
Darn computer! I'm going to shut down the whole internet here in a minute. Okay. All right.
Did you get to see him?
Yes, there he is. I see him there.
All right. So as I say, you two guys look like brothers.
Same barber. Okay. All right. Where's the lowest level of vitality within Vin's body? Has he got like a flu kind of thing, or what is that?
I'm actually not sure, but I know he does get really severe migraines from time to time. He's got quite a lot of old, kind of things that have impacted him. So
we are going into the nervous system. So okay.
Okay.
Where is the most resistance, lowest level of vitality in Vin's nervous system? Okay, going into the brain. We're going to do brain surgery tonight, Joanne. Doing a brain surgery. All right.
Well, I've seen the psychic surgeons work. I'm telling you, I've seen them take eyes out and work on hearts. Not take the heart out, but my goodness.
Where is the lowest level of vitality within Vin's brain?
So we'll just see, get Vin to get back to us at some point and see how that goes. Yes, it's a rare thing that Vin is taken low.
Okay, we are getting some direction. Lowest level of vitality in Vin's brain. We're going deep, deep, deep into the brain here. And this is within the third ventricle of the brain. Okay, what is causing low levels of vitality in the third ventricle of Vin's brain?
Okay, I've got another comment from Sharon as well when you are through with working with Vin.
Okay, answer there. What is causing low levels of vitality in the third ventricle of Vin's brain? Okay, so this is some type of manifestation. Okay, what manifestation is within the brain? Manifestation.
It's difficult when you don't have the person in front of you, I know.
It can be, but we've been doing pretty good lately. It is manifestation of. Okay, is open to. Yes, he is open to healing. Okay, what is the manifestation? It is manifestation of.
I did say I'd try and do this for him if we could, so it's great to.
Manifestation of reptilian scar tissue. Okay, so he's had a reptilian in his brain. It's developed some scar tissue, reptilian scar tissue. Let's move that out, shall we? Within Vin's brain, third ventricle of the brain. All reptilian scar tissue false. Reptilian scar tissue false, please. There it is. And there it goes. Okay, now third ventricle of the brain, true. Third ventricle of the brain, true. Very nice. So I got some good energy off of that.
Yes, I could feel that as well. In a different way, it was very low key. So
yeah, it wasn't such a big problem. He gets it once in a while. So it wasn't such a very big problem. But.
Okay, so let me just see what Sharon has said. Okay, so she said, I have a suppressive energy around my head. Sorry, the chat's just zipped up again. It keeps doing that. It's really annoying. Tingling, struggling to think for words. Sorry, it keeps doing that. Sorry, this chat is really driving me mad. Okay, sorry, Sharon. I keep losing the thing. Okay, struggling to think for words and feel how I would when I'm remote viewing. I'm blank. There we go. That's interesting. It's interesting that there are such immediate responses as well. And I'm feeling quite lightheaded myself. Not in a bad way, but just with the flow through of work.
Okay, what we're going to do for Sharon, we need to do this right now. Sharon Russell. Sharon Russell's chi. Hell false. Pull Sharon Russell's chi out of hell. Take it to sanctuary. Transmute Sharon Russell's chi from hell. Take it to sanctuary. There it is. It's not every day you get to pull somebody out of hell. Sharon Russell's chi, true. Chi, true. Chi, true. There we go. That should help out a lot.
Okay, so that is that felt again. There was a lot of it's getting a lot of stuff around the base of the throat again, but not like before. This was as if when toxins are rising and they're going to be expelled, something like that. That's really, really interesting. I don't know whether you're able to see the picture of Sharon there in the box. And I'm actually going all tingly from head to foot myself now, so that really shows that work was strong. And it's interesting, when we use these words like hell and what have you, which are such intangibles for us, it's very hard for people to get their heads around that. But frankly, it's a state of being as much as anything. And those energetic tendrils that get locked into these very super low energetic or get abducted there, so they don't move forward in any way, shape, or form. It's like being a prisoner in those environments.
It is.
They are real. They're real.
Oh, you know what? Very real. I went into the pit once myself for a very, very short time, a millisecond. Yeah. I was doing some energy work on somebody, and I felt the energy coming in. I don't feel energy too much, otherwise it would knock me out every day. I felt it coming in. I was lining up his zero chakra. All of a sudden, boom! I sat down right here, right where I am right now, put my hand on the table, and the room started going like this. And I said, what did I just do? Okay, it wasn't what just happened, it was what did I just do. It took me 4 hours to get out of the chair for somebody to help me to a car and take me to the hospital. It was in the pit. I got drawn into the pit.
Gosh, so you went to hospital?
Well, my wife made me go to the hospital.
Yeah. What was the treatment for?
They hydrated me and gave me some Gravol to stop the nausea because I couldn't stop throwing up because the room was spinning.
Nausea. Okay. All right. Because I was getting a slight wisp, I would call it, of a nauseous feeling, and it was such a slight wisp. Mm-hmm. It's gone now. It was just like passing through the energy field. It's not there
every time I opened my eyes. I would fall over and throw up.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. So you really did take a bashing then.
Not a nice place to be.
No, indeed not. So Sharon, we'll still be in touch with you till the end of the show, and of course I'll be in touch with you after that. But Chris, are you okay to take a breather and bring on our last person? Because I'm not going to have time for me, but never mind. I shall catch up with you another time.
I am here. Let's do it. We're having fun. It's
all right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask. That Stephen's beat me to it. He's brought out Kevin. So we're just connecting with Kevin. And I don't know, Chris, did you manage to see the picture of Sharon there?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah. So you've got a visual. So that.
Yes. Kevin O'Doherty. Kevin O'Doherty.
Can you hear?
You've probably said it absolutely correctly, and I'm often getting told off for not saying it correctly. Did you hear that, Mr. O'Doherty? Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah, where's your microphone?
All right, hold on.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you now. Good. There we go. We got you.
What's going on with Kevin today?
Right. Hold on. I've got the radio show in the background. Let me stop it. Sorry. Now I'm with you. I've got.
Sorry, I called you too quick.
That's okay. I've got sciatica, and
which side?
I've also on my right side, and I'm pretty crook with it, So I can't really. I'm up and about now. I've been immobile for about 5 days. I can't really leave the house.
I think it's actually a bit more than sciatica, personally, because I think there's some other stuff going on there, but sciatica is a manifestation of part of it. It would be my take on it. But
where is the lowest level of vitality within Kevin's body? You can go on, Kevin, if you like.
Yeah. The other thing is, I'm a bit concerned. I have Dupuytren's disease in my hands, which is it's a simple procedure to get rid of it. It doesn't actually go away, but if it's not treated, my hands close.
What do you call it?
It's called Dupuytren's disease. It's not curable, but
yes,
nonetheless, it's according to medical people anyway. But anyway, the thing is, it's a simple procedure to get rid of it, but it can be a bit painful as well. If I don't treat it, my hands end up completely closed over. So I'm just about to go and get it sorted.
Can you say the name of that disease again? Because it wasn't very clear.
Oh, Dupuytren's disease.
Is it De Brighton, as in like almost the place, De Brighton?
Dupuytren.
Depriton with a P. Okay,
Depriton disease, if I say it in the vernacular there.
Sorry, I got it. It must be my hearing.
Pronounce it the way, that's what my father calls it anyway. He's got a better accent than me, you know.
Okay. All right.
Okay, where we're going to start working is it within the deep inguinal lymph nodes. That's within the groin. What is causing low levels of vitality within Kevin's deep inguinal lymph nodes? Yeah, we're getting some fast answers here tonight. I like that. Nice and quick.
And let us know if you get any response, Kevin. Let us know how that feels for you and what feedback, if any, you get.
Deep inguinal lymph nodes.
Yeah, looks good. You get that? Said your hair looks good.
My hair looks good.
No.
I thought you were talking to the lady there.
Yeah, she's changed her hair.
I've had it cut, but it doesn't look like it on camera.
Okay. What is causing low levels of vitality in the deep inguinal lymph nodes?
You have such a way with words, Chris.
I certainly do, don't I? As Canadians, we can talk. We can talk. Look out. Okay.
It's lovely. We've got a really great triangulation going on here. We've got Stephen hosting the show from America, Canadian there, and an English Canadian here.
Where we need to work is in the parallel incarnation. Okay. Where is the lowest level? What is causing low levels of vitality within the deep inguinal lymph nodes in Kevin's parallel incarnation? This is you in another realm.
Yeah, I've been told I'm two-faced.
Okay, so this is a little involved. What do we need to do for the deep inguinal lymph nodes within Kevin's parallel incarnation? Yeah, there's something deep here. Okay. Okay, so this is an occult ritual happening. So we're going to remove occult rituals, Illuminati, the Moloch, and all the usual suspects. Here we go. Within Kevin's parallel incarnation, deep inguinal lymph nodes, satanic occult rituals false. There we go. Illuminati false. Send to ether. Illuminati false. Send it to ether. And Moloch false. Send to ether. Okay, now within this incarnation, here and now incarnation, muscular system, hips and legs, Lucifer false. Send to ether. Whoa. You bugger. Okay. All right. How does that feel, Kevin?
I feel strangely where my eyes are. I feel like I'm not crying, but I can feel tears. I'm not emotional, but it's as if something's coming out me around the mental and emotional aura. Below where the area is at the moment, not really got anything quite there yet. But as you know, sometimes this can take a little bit of time.
Could be a couple days or so.
Yeah, I do feel it working. There's this heavy, like I just want to pull it out of me.
Okay, let's do this quickly. Okay, sciatica false. Sciatica false. All nerve impingement false. Remove any and all pressure on the sciatic nerve. Muscle spasm, false. Sciatica, false. Nerve impingement, false. Yeah, it's definitely something that needs to go to a deeper level.
Right, what I've got now is right on my hip. It's pulsing.
Okay.
I can actually feel it. The nerves twitching now. It like involuntary, you know.
We've heard about that kind of thing. Steady.
Yeah, I know. I might
Family show.
I might want to sort of do an Elvis thing or something. It's shaking it all up anyway. I can feel it seriously. Right on the upper thigh. I've got my hand on the right side. It's spasming, like muscle, like pulsing. Not regular, irregular.
Yeah,
I got it, you know.
With sciatica, there's a spasm in the muscle, and it puts pressure on that nerve, and then it sends the pain, and that's generally what it is. It could be different things. It could be a meridian. It could be in a different etheric body that we need to work, that kind of thing. But generally, it's going to be within your incarnate spasm, putting pressure on the nerve, and that's. If it comes back, that means we have to go deeper and find out what's causing the spasm. So sometimes you have to get very deep down a rabbit hole as to what the problem is.
I feel very lifted, like I'm floating a bit.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
It's as if like the weight, I know I'm sitting at the moment, but it's as if the weight's coming off, like a magnetic thing. Now I can feel it going down to my knee now. It hasn't quite reached the knee. But it's going
to keep moving for the next 12 hours.
Okay. I hope it goes right the way out.
You're going to feel it.
That was brilliant. Thank you, Chris.
Okay, Joanne, there's something that I'm being told I need to do right now for humanity. Shall we do it?
Oh, yes, please. Let's just do that.
Within everyone watching and listening, heart resonance. Flood humanity with heart resonance. Pure, true, source heart resonance. Very nice, very nice. Lock it in.
That was lovely. And I just want to say from Sharon, thank you very much, Chris. I know that you've done a lot of work. I know how much work it takes to do what you've done tonight, and I don't know if other people do, but it really does require quite a lot of energy, although Chris works to keep himself balanced, I know. But I just wanted to say from Sharon, because I can't reply back into the chat box yet, just says, thank you, Chris, for your effort in trying to help. I'm feeling very tired, or quite tired now, yet feeling something has awoken. Hard to explain, really. I also thank you, in the chat room and all the links, though. She's had some support there, which is lovely. This is what it's about, isn't it? I mean, whatever anybody thinks about what we're doing, there's cynicism or whatever, you know what, it doesn't matter. If you're coming from love and you've got a system that's worked, let's just keep putting it out there, because it's tough for everybody. And there's another question I've just seen. It says, can Chris... Sorry, this this chat keeps jumping. Sorry, it's to do with Gaia. And I thought it was interesting since last time, Chris, and you mentioned about Gaia. I don't feel the same way about using the word for Gaia anymore. I use Earth, and that really means, anchors it for me. So can Chris exorcise, let's put Gaia, I think they mean Gaia, Mother Earth. Is she infested by... malinfestation, so the fallen angels do not have sanctuary on our host planet, i.e. global exorcism? Well, actually, you know what? I think you were picking up that question's kind of baseline there, because that's pretty much what we were just doing is because healing, so many of us on the planet, if we all are touched by love and that altruistic energy of open-heartedness and compassion, how can the earth not be exorcised from these dreadful
what is
parasites.
Happening right now is the guy in Alberta, Canada, who makes my tools. Okay, he makes all of my tools. Crystalline Incorporated. His main job, he is the primary energy grid engineer working on an etheric level to prepare the earth, to cleanse the earth, the grids, all of its energy bodies for the ascension process. So it is being done. I don't need to go there. I'm working on people. He's working on the earth. He's got his job. I got mine. And it is being done.
Well, I would just like to thank you very much, and thank you, Kevin, for coming on and being with us this evening. To Sharon and Vin in the distance, thank you very much. And for Donadella, and for everybody, for David, and for everybody I haven't mentioned by name because I'm not going to. You know, take this healing energy that's been set up and just use it for yourself. It's a tool, and you can take a strand of it, and it's part of the whole thing, the quantum field, and you know, we'll all benefit by just plugging into that wonderful energy. And I'd really like to, if I could do a round of applause, I would, for Stephen Roberts. Thank you so much. It's been absolutely great. I absolutely appreciate it. I was wondering how on earth I was going to manage this evening, because I'm a bit slow at learning this technical stuff. So bless you, Stephen, and you know, thank you so much. You made it possible. And all our love goes to Vin, and I hope he also has some benefit from this. Mr. O'Doherty, we shall catch up shortly. And Chris, thank you so much. I'll leave you to get on with the rest of your day. What time is it in Manitoba now?
It is 7 o'clock, and my kids go to bed in an hour, so I better get home and play with them for a little bit.
All righty ho. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And we will talk about perhaps you coming on as perhaps a regular feature at some time, maybe once a quarter. And that would be really lovely. I haven't done that before. But,
it'd be my pleasure.
Yeah, it would be great, Chris. And we shall share things across the waves. All right, for everybody, it's time for us to go. We are 101. Oh, that's interesting. So, Chris Kaylor, thank you very much. And his website is www.chriskaylor.net. And there is all the information on the podcast page for contacting Chris if you don't find his website. So thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed that. It was a bit different, and it was very much related to ET, because by healing ourselves, we're healing our relationships with not only with one another, but with the greater cosmic society. So there we go. That's me, shortly over and out. And Donadella just says one last, please say thank you very much. Thank you again. And maybe she'll come on again when we have you on again, Chris. And she is, you know, does have a really severe situation to deal with. But bless you. And thank you, everybody else, for listening. And Stephen, I think we're going to play our outro. And again, it's been a pleasure. And I don't know where the time's gone. It's so fast. So, adios, amigos. Stephen Roberts, you're an angel.
I'm floating.
Sharon, I really hope you feel a lot better, and we'll speak to everybody.
I'm just zoned
out.
You have been listening to the Amash Files.
Night, everyone.
That's
Good
all.
morning.
Amash website.
Good night.